Okay, out here on a river leads into a lake, but this past fall they drained the lake. They drained the level by about 4 feet. Water level's usually about right here, and you can see down there it's down about 4 feet, which has really affected the beaver here. There's a beaver house over there in those cattails that's completely up high and dry, and then there's another one here that's up way above the water line. But it looks like the beavers improvised and built a smaller secondary house down closer to the water level. And I've got a feed bed out there. But if you look down here, there's quite a bit of otter activity. So we have a lot of otter in this area, in this county, and we're only allowed to get 2 a year up here. And I don't intentionally trap otter, but I always fill my tags, just because if you're trapping beaver, you're gonna catch otter, especially when we have this many. So this is what they call an otter toilet, and you can probably figure out why. I think by scraping some of the bark off my popple, that helps them to see it. And we got a beaver. That's just a 2-year-old, medium size. And look at where this guy is snared. So this is one of those new Southern Snare Supply beaver snares I have with a slide lock on it, and he is snared in his mouth, and right behind the ears and through the mouth. You can see that. Okay, just like that last place, this is another river that flows into that same lake, but they dropped the level last fall by a good 4 or 5 feet. I see on the bank where the level was. I was trapping raccoon over here back in October, and I saw the beaver out here in the middle of the day scrambling right after the water level dropped to build a lower addition onto their house there. And they've got a pretty good sized feed bed, as you can see, and then there's another feed bed over there, which I don't really have that figured out yet. Anyway, I found this little channel here that goes from this feed bed in the house out to the main stream here, and yeah, I found it by just falling through the ice. So I had a 330 Conibear in there and didn't catch anything. I've had this one here, and I've already got 3 beaver out of here. Was a beaver, and this is unfortunate for a couple reasons. One, because we didn't catch beaver, but 2, this beaver is now educated. I mean, they're just a dumb rodent, right? But if you the beaver was carrying this stick in his mouth to take it to either the lodge or taking it from the feed bed if they have another bank den somewhere. So he's carrying this stick in his mouth, and the stick hit the triggers and set the trap off. So this square trap snapped down right in front of the beaver's face, maybe smacked him in the nose, and now for the rest of his life he's going to associate this square metal shape with something that is scary. All right, we'll do this reset on this 330 that I had sprung with a stick in it. So I got my setters here, and these are the kind that lock, like I showed in the other video. And they're just a little bit easier and safer now. I don't have to sit here and try to hold it closed, with my knee or whatever. It's on there pretty good. Put a little safety deal on there, and that's gonna pop off. So we're dealing in some, icy conditions here. So the trap, as you can see, is covered with ice, and we're gonna deal with that in a minute, because these things, I mean, you don't want to get caught in any of your traps, but you really don't want to get caught in your 330 Conibears. Some bad things could happen. So these gloves aren't really wet, but you can see in this temperature they already they're just like sticking to the metal. So once I have it here at this spot, I just throw my trap in the water and let it get some of that snow and ice off it. Okay, so I know that there's a trench here, and I can tell by just probing with my stick here. So that's only about 18 inches deep. And if I feel over here, move to the right, I can feel where the bank starts to go up. And right when it starts to go up, that's where I put one of my stakes. And then I do the same thing on the other side. I know that right there is basically the deepest spot of the trench. I'm just gonna move over here and it starts going up, 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 up. So right when it starts going up, I'm gonna put the other one in. You wanna keep them kind of straight, otherwise it gets weird putting the trap on. I see a lot of guys, they put their 330 in the water and then they try to put the stakes in. That's fine if that works for you. Like I said, I don't tell people how to trap. I just show people how I do it. So even if it's like 10 below zero and your gloves are sticking to the metal, you throw it in the water and you'll have at least a few seconds. It's probably 24 degrees now, so I have a little bit more time before this starts freezing up on me. But I don't want to take too long. So right here in the middle of your trigger, you want to make sure that's free of any snow and ice. And then same with on the dog here. And then another thing, once I put the dog on there, I put pressure and I slide it back and forth just to make sure in case there is a layer of ice on there, it doesn't, I'm more worried about it, popping off and snapping down on my fingers as soon as I let it go. So just slide it back and forth, get that metal on metal contact. All right, it's on there pretty good. Let my thumbs out of the way and then try to close. So now I'm just gonna slide this down over my two posts and then make sure it's straight up and down and pretty much centered in the trench. All right, that looks good. So there's really not room for them to go around this. And once we get a layer of ice on there, there won't be room for them to go over the top. So if they go in this channel, we should definitely catch them, unless, of course, I'm just going to push it down in the mud a little bit to make sure it doesn't wobble. All right, that's pretty stable. So that's my reset on a 330. Like I said, I've already got 3 here in this exact trap, and we know that there's one more at least in here because he just sprung my trap.